This is it. The NFL playoffs.
Time is here! Time is now!
It's been one wild ride to get here.
Born to be wild.
1, 2, 3,
Today, a new season begins, and it starts with a weekend like we've never seen before. 12 teams, 6 games, 1 goal. Win or go home. So, go wild.
Let's go! I need! End zone! Touchdown! What I'm talking about? Unbelievable effort! Wow! What a play! Now you want to get excited? All day, just like that!
These dozen dreamers will take center stage
That's what we do!
in the wildest weekend ever.
That's championship football, dog!
And it all starts on CBS.
Born to be wild.
Welcome to Super Wild Card Weekend.
Super Wild Card Weekend kicks off today at Bill Stadium. Folks, it's a crisp 32 degrees in Orchard Park. That's balmy for them. And kickoff is just about an hour away. We'll get set for the AFC battle between Phillip Rivers and the Indianapolis Colts and Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills.
There's Phillip Rivers of the Indianapolis Colts, the quarterback, 11-5 record, passed for over 4,000 yards. Can he today win his 6th playoff game?
Josh Allen in this 6-game win streak has 19 total touchdowns, 32 plays of 20 yards or more, and are averaging 38 points per game.
And there he is, the all-pro Stephon Diggs playing catch with the Buffalo Bills fans. They'll have about 6,200 fans there today in Buffalo. By the way, he led the league in receptions and receiving yards. What a season he had.
And hello, folks. I'm James Brown. Welcome to the NFL Today, presented by Ram Trucks. It's a super wild card weekend indeed as we kick off the NFL playoffs, folks. This is the time of year where legends are born and legacies are cemented. And no one knows that better than my distinguished colleagues. They will be 2-time Super Bowl champion Phil Simms, the Hall of Fame coach himself, Bill Cowher, and former league MVP. That would be Boomer.
Great to be back with you guys.
It's good to have you back. Phil,
We're
you glad to have you
excited.
back?
Yeah, we're real excited.
Oh, yeah, he's real thrilled. Hey, and look here, Nate Burleson is in New Orleans getting ready for tomorrow's Nickelodeon broadcast, and I believe we're all thrilled that he's coming back next week.
Is he going to get slimed during the broadcast? That's all I want to know.
Phil's got that plan for him. 12 teams, 6 games, 2 days, folks, and it all begins with today's showdown from Buffalo between the Colts and the Bills. The NFL's first Super Wild Card Weekend will no doubt be one to remember for football fans everywhere. Meanwhile, tomorrow in the Big Easy, Drew Brees and the NFC South champion Saints will try to make it anything but easy for Mitchell Trubisky and the visiting Bears. Coverage begins at 4 Eastern right here on CBS. But up first, Phillip Rivers and the 7-seeded Colts looking for the weekend's first big upset as they walk into Bill Stadium prepared to take on Josh Allen and the AFC East champs from Buffalo. And Buffalo brings to the table one of the league's most dynamic duos in Stephon Diggs and Josh Allen. And for more on them, let's welcome in the guy himself, Charles Davis, Mr. Davis, who's calling today's matchup. Hello, Charles.
Hello, JB. Hello, guys. Happy Super Wildcard Weekend to all. And yes, you're right. Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, what a dynamic duo. Josh Allen has really increased his game in his 3 short years in the league. But what's a great quarterback without a great wide receiver? Stephon Diggs coming over from Minnesota. He's brought energy, he's brought juice, and he's really happy these fans are going to be here for this game today. When you think about what Stephon Diggs has done to not just elevate his game, but elevate Buffalo's offense, look at what he's done. Boomer talked about it a few minutes ago. The guy's led the league in targets, receptions, and yardage. And when you have a wide receiver 1, you count on him to show up in the bigger moments, in the bigger games. And here was the go-ahead touchdown late against Arizona before the Hail Murray. Watch Diggs, number 3 in from the top. The other two receivers in their route concept run routes that allow him to run a one-on-one against perennial Pro Bowl quarterback Patrick Peterson, and he comes up with the biggest catch of the game at that time. They expect plenty more of that from him today. Now for more on the Buffalo Bills, let's go to my colleague, Evan Washburn.
Well, CD, you touched on it. There's very few NFL fan bases that are more identified with, let's say, their in-stadium persona than Bills fans. So it seems right that they're back here for what is a game they've been waiting for nearly a quarter century. This was made possible due to the fact that the Bills organization came together with the New York State government to create what they believe is as safe an in-stadium environment as you'll find. All 6,700 ticketed fans were required to pay for and undergo COVID-19 testing earlier this week and show proof of a negative test result to get into the stadium. Reported about 130 positive tests. I spoke to owner and president Kim Pagula this week, and she said the urgency to get this done was based off that playoff drought, JB. I'll send it back to you and the original Mr. GQ, Phil Sims, in the studio.
Oh, wow, giving him a little too much credit. Hey, and along with Ian Eagle, have a great call today. Boom, a big quarterback battle.
It is, and you heard Charles Davis talking about Josh Allen and Steph Diggs, and certainly they've had a great year. But on the other side, it's Phillip Rivers, and I can tell you this, from talking to Frank Reich, he is so happy with the performance that he got from Phillip Rivers. Now, I watched all the tapes. I watched all the throws. Here's the thing that I worry about with Phillip Rivers going into today's game. It's the second half of games where his performance has actually dipped significantly. This is where he throws most of his interceptions. 6 of the 7 interceptions that he threw in the second half came in losing games. So he has got to be spot on late in this game, because I'm going to tell you, Josh Allen's got all the energy coming into this one.
Well, the one thing Phillip Rivers does have, Boom, is he's got a running game and he's got an offensive line. When you think about these guys in their last 5 games, they've averaged almost 170 yards per game. They've had 8 touchdowns. Jonathan Taylor has been on fire, along with Nyheim Hines. And if you think about the Buffalo Bills, if there is a weakness they have, 2 of the last 3 games they've played, they've given up 100-yard rushers. So, again, Jonathan Taylor, Nyheim Hines, they lead a running attack with an offensive line. That keeps that Buffalo Bills offense off the field.
Well, one thing you can count on today, we're going to talk a lot of offense of the Buffalo Bills and a lot of Josh Allen, but you look what they've done over the last 3 years since he has been there. 2018, 16 points a game. Look at the total yards. 19, it got better. 2020, over 31 points a game, almost 400 yards of offense. The Bills during the offseason did something really smart. They went out and built their team around the best player in their team, and that is Josh Allen. They got a good pass blocking offensive line. They get him Stephon Diggs. That's been a colossal success. Brian Daboll, the movement, deception of the offense. He's a very aggressive play caller. And what I want to see today is this. Buffalo's offensive line against Indianapolis's defensive line, which is very good, too.
Ooh, Mr. GQ is ready to go, is it not?
Yes, that was kind of a shot.
That was kind of.
I don't think it was a compliment.
Don't feed him, JB.
And for more news and updates from around the league, including the latest on head coaching vacancies, let's welcome in our NFL Today insider. That would be Jason Lockenfora.
Well, JB, Bills offensive coordinator Brian Daboll and Colts defensive coordinator Matt Eberflus are both scheduled to interview with the Chargers and the Jets tomorrow, according to league sources. Daboll went to high school with Chargers GM Tom Telesco, and his work with Josh Allen has naturally piqued their interest. Eberflus was scheduled to interview with the Texans as well on Sunday. That was scuttled when they altered and rebooted their coaching search. Now look for them to reach out to Daboll. Urban Meyer had his interview with the Jaguars yesterday after weeks of courtship by the team. Hiring Meyer would be the primary objective of owner Shad Khan, I'm told, and he's willing to pay handsomely to make that happen. Meyer, meantime, is telling associates the Chargers are also interested in him, although my sources are skeptical that's actually a match. The Saints, excited about the return of 2 stars, Alvin Kamara and Michael Thomas, for their game tomorrow. Expect to see plenty of both. The Rams won't have a final determination on Jared Goff's status until he warms up later today. Boom, your guy Taylor Heineke. Expect to see a lot of him tonight for Washington. Alex Smith still has an ailing calf. Heineke likely to start, and Cole Beasley back for the Bills as well, Boom.
Hey, Jason, just tell Brian Daboll to go to the L.A. Chargers with Justin Herbert. There's Isaiah McKenzie, the 4-year player out of the University of Georgia. 3 touchdowns last week against Miami, including an 84-yard punt return.
Coming up on the Super Wild Card edition of the NFL Today. 28 years ago, quarterback Frank Reich led Buffalo to one of the greatest comebacks in NFL playoff history.
The Bills have
And today, he returns to Bill Stadium as coach of the Colts, looking to knock off his former team. This season, Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs lit up scoreboards across the NFL, and you don't want to miss what the electrifying receiver had to say about his first season in Buffalo. Coach caught up with Colts quarterback Phillip Rivers this week, and the 17-year vet doesn't sound like he's getting ready to hang it up anytime soon.
I've really enjoyed the heck out of it this year, being around these guys, this team, this environment, finding ourselves with a chance in January is all you can ask for.
That's all straight ahead on the NFL Today on CBS, home of Super Bowl 55. The NFL Today on CBS is presented by Ram Trucks, Motor Trend's Truck of the Year for the third year in a row.
Fasten your seatbelts. The Bills and the Oilers ready to get it on.
4 touchdown passes, none at all here on the first half. As much of an annihilation of a Buffalo team I've ever seen. It's intercepted on the far sideline. Bubba McDowell for a touchdown. 35-3, Houston leads Buffalo in the third.
Frank Reich engineered one of the greatest comebacks in the history of college football. You never know.
There's not too many things that I can ever tell you that you ever experienced that or anything like that.
Right back to pass. BB wide open. Touchdown. Right back to throw. Wide open. Andre Reed. Touchdown Buffalo.
To hear the crowd just going crazy and just really being there when we needed them. Guys on the sideline encouraging one another.
Right back to throw. Caught for a touchdown. Great comeback in playoff Houston. The pass is intercepted by Nate Odom for the win. Steve Crispy through the uprights. And it's over.
Been back to Buffalo a few times since as a player and as a coach. I will always love Buffalo. Will always be a Bills fan, except for this Saturday.
And Frank names his name that is forever legendary in this stadium. But folks, today he enters as the enemy. The Colts head coach will attempt to notch Indy's first playoff win of the post-Andrew Luck era. And our own Evan Washburn caught up with him a little earlier today.
Well, Coach, thanks as always for the time. Look, I know you've been back here in multiple capacities, and your focus is solely on your team in this game. But when you make that walk down the tunnel and you're on this field, do any memories or thoughts flood back to your time here in Buffalo?
Oh, there's no doubt. Driving up to the stadium, a lot of nostalgia, a lot of good memories. But as you said, Evan, just very focused and thankful to be back out on this field with a great opportunity to play a good football team and compete with our team and go out here and prove something today.
We've heard the underdog mentality this week from your crew. You laid out the value of it to us last night, but I also got a sense that there's an intention of what we're capable of and a belief in what you're capable of. What's the balance you want to play there?
Yeah, that's the key word. There is a balance. I mean, we know that the Bills have earned the number 2 seed, and we've earned the spot that we're in, but as a 7th seed. But we got a lot of confidence in what we're doing and who we're doing it with. And, the goal is to bring that out on the field today, play with a lot of swagger, play loose, and play confident.
Coach, thanks as always for the time. Good luck.
Thanks, Evan.
Hey, certainly by any standard, it has been an impressive season for Frank Reich, but he'll have his hands full trying to get his team to execute against the mind of Sean McVay.
Well, just to go back to that game in 1992, I remember sitting in Pittsburgh. We had home field advantage. I was getting interviewed at halftime of that game, and they're asking me, what's it like to have to play a team 3 times in the same year, that being the Houston Oilers. And he came back, and he won that game. Okay, we're playing them, and came into Pittsburgh the next week and beat us. But Frank Reich is a guy that, again, I think his team reflects him, just like Sean McDermott does. These teams are unselfish. There's no drama, and they don't beat themselves. And I think when you look at these two guys, they've been, Frank Reich in the playoffs 2 out of 3 years, and Sean McDermott 3 out of the 4 years. They are solid coaches.
Yeah, you talk about Frank Reich as you look at him. He played 14 years in the NFL. You got to remember that. So he knows how to treat players and what it's like to be a player. He respects them. They respect him, and it's worked out great. Now, Phillip Rivers, hey, here he is, late in his career, hitting the age of 40. He's accurate throwing the football. He can get rid of it quick. And the other thing, even though his age, he can stand in that pocket with pressure and still try to make throws. And big Josh Allen, what can you say? Boomer, we've been watching highlights, Bill, for 3 years, laughing, and here's a chance today. Lost his playoff game last year. Yeah. Can he get that protection? If he does, I think he'll have a big day.
You know, he has really refined his game to become one of the best young quarterbacks in the league. You know, for me, it's the game within the game on the coaching side, and that is Matt Eberflus, the defensive coordinator of the Colts, versus Brian Daboll right here, the offensive coordinator for the Buffalo Bills. I'd like to see him in L.A. next year with Justin Herbert is what I'd like to see. But you know what? The one thing about that he does, he's aggressive on first down. Now, Stephon Diggs has been targeted 75 times on first down. He's also been targeted a total of 166 times, which is by far the most of any wide receiver in football. So if you are Matt Eberflus, you have to make sure that that does not seep its way into this game plan, or that's going to be success for the Buffalo Bills.
Great coaching. Get it to your best player. That's what they're doing.
Yes. And no question about it that the Colts will have to deal with the NFL's leader in receptions and receiving yards. The dynamic Stephon Diggs has been a thorn in the side of defenses all season long. And folks, we'll see if he can secure the bag for the Bills today. Coming up next, we'll hear from the All-Pro receiver. Tomorrow, Super Wildcard Weekend continues, and the road back to the Super Bowl begins for Drew Brees and the Saints as they clash with Khalil Mack and the Chicago Bears in New Orleans. Coverage begins at 4 p.m. Eastern right here on CBS and simulcast on Nickelodeon with our colleague Nate Burleson. And tomorrow on the NFL Today, Phil Simms sits down with Drew Brees.
It's always funny how certain plays kind of evolve, and maybe even, I can't tell you how many times we've put in a late Saturday ad or even like a Sunday morning, ad, and all of a sudden that becomes, a huge play in the game. So the work's never done around here.
And for more on tomorrow's battle between the Saints and the Bears, let's welcome in the host of the Jim Rome Show, which can be heard daily on CBS Sports Radio, simulcast on CBS Sports Network, the icon himself, Mr. Jim Rome.
Hey, JB. Now, if you're still trying to figure out how a team that had a 6-game losing streak and Mitch Trubisky, a quarterback, is in the postseason, you are not alone. I mean, nobody can take that from them, but maybe somebody should. The Bears can talk all they want about how they're not actually 500 because everybody's record resets to 0-0 right now. Hey, whatever works for you, but whatever worked for you in the last few weeks against the dregs of the league is not going to work this time. Not against the Saints. I guarantee that Drew Brees is going to go out with another ring on his finger. Not necessarily, but I can guarantee that he's not going to go out with a loss to Mitch Trubisky. Bears fans, stop telling us how much your team deserves to be here and let them show us instead, because you and I both know that they can't do that, JB.
Wow, as usual, a strong take from our guy, Jim Rome. And folks, it will be a tall task for Khalil Mack and the struggling Bears D to slow down the Saints.
The purest form of motivation is to tell somebody that they can't do something. So I'm sure Matt Nagy is going to be delivering that message to his Chicago Bears. But, man, this Saints offense is loaded. They get Alvin Kamara back. They get Michael Thomas back. Now, they're going to be missing their best defensive pass rusher in Trey Hendrickson, but they are loaded along the defensive line, the offensive line, and this probably is Drew Brees' swan song. And we all know what has happened to the New Orleans Saints the last couple of years in the playoffs. They are very aware of it. I don't think that they fall apart in this game. I think this is a game where they're going to put up a lot of points. And unfortunately for Mitch Trubisky, he usually struggles against a very good defense. The bad defenses, they put up lots of points. Good defense, like we saw last week against Green Bay, not a lot of points. That's why everybody is picking New Orleans.
Good storylines going into this matchup. All right, folks, time now for pregame HQ delivered by Domino's. And after finishing the season as the league's NFL leading receiver, Stephon Diggs from Good Counsel High School has clearly proven to be one of the more important acquisitions of this past offseason. And along with Josh Allen, he helped transform the Bills into one of the most potent offenses in the league. Our Evan Washburn caught up with the former Vikes wideout and found him still smiling about his new digs.
Is dental hygiene is something to take note of, kids out there. There's never a bad place to floss.
Stephon, Can you help me out here? I'm not much for dental hygiene, and I know I don't have the old school floss. It's the
First of
it's
all,
a little hang here.
Listen, I'm on your side.
Is this good enough?
No,
Does this work?
listen, I'm on your side. Like, I'm a stick guy. Like, I use that over the old floss. That's why I don't really know how to use the old floss. But I wish I wasn't doing that.
What are you doing? Why do you need to floss during a game?
Because we had orange pills at halftime, and you know oranges kind of get stuck in your teeth. And I'm one of those people that's like, I hate being uncomfortable. So like, I was just trying to get it out of my teeth real quick and, you know, keep them right.
What a finish by Stephon Diggs.
Stephon Diggs has been the best receiver in the NFL this season.
Your season, borderlines on historic. Not only did you lead the league in catches, in yards, and targets, but top 10, 6th in total catches in NFL history. Those are real numbers. Did you envision this as you approached this year?
I didn't envision any of the success that took place. It just was hard to fathom in the beginning with everything that was going on, not only just in football, but the world. But if somebody could tell me that we would be 13-3 and having success and going into playoffs, I wouldn't have thought that.
So what is it about this environment that's allowed you to be so comfortable and produce the way you have over the course of this season?
I've been in situations that weren't favorable or things that, didn't go as planned or you wanted it so bad, but this was something that wanted me. I mean, because I didn't change. Like, I didn't wake up to become a new person. I go out there and run into a wall for my teammates or for my coaches. So everybody who knows me personally knows that I'm a guy that's all about winning.
Allen dropping a dime. Diggs with a stroke of genius. We are witnessing something special here.
We've seen what you and Josh Allen have been able to do this season. Have you spent any time thinking about the long-term future of what this relationship could be?
As a couple of years in the league, I learned that, all your success will come from your quarterback and how good he is and what he can do. So me and his relationship, like a brother. Like, that's like my little big brother because he's huge, but it's a guy that I love. And I'm not a morning person at all. Like, I hate the morning. So I get in the morning, I wake up in the morning, I come in, and he's bothering me early in the morning, and I don't mind it because I like him. That's my dog.
You've been in Buffalo for, 6-7 months now. You haven't experienced Bills Mafia. What are your expectations and excitement about the opportunity Saturday, but also just being a part of this fan base?
As a player, you just want to go out and play for not only your teammates, your coaches, but then you got a fan base that's behind you 100% through the good and the bad. And I hear, it's only going to be like 7,000, but if anybody can make 7,000 sound like 20,000, I hear it's the Buffalo Bills fans. So, being cheered on by Bills Mafia.
Yeah, when you think about Stephon Diggs and what he's done to this Buffalo Bills offense, let's go back to where they were last year without him. You can see the numbers right here for Josh Allen, under 60% completion percentage, 3,000 yards, and only 20 passing touchdowns. Stephon Diggs comes in, and look at the numbers, 70% completion percentage, almost 1,500 yards more, and 37 touchdowns, Phil. What has made this offense so explosive?
Well, when you look at it, lots of things. Stephon Diggs and Josh Allen, it's a perfect marriage. But here's the first play, a little pump fake to Richard Sherman makes him stop, and then Josh Allen, showing maturity, third year, throws it over the top to Gabriel Davis for the touchdown. Now we want to throw the ball down the field. Let's keep some extra blockers in. Two-man route down the field deep. He looks deep. It's double coverage on Gabriel Davis, so he comes off and he finds Stephon Diggs across the field, throws a bullet to him with pressure around him, which is really important. And then not only you deal with his size, his arm strength, you have to cover the whole field, then you got to account for this. He's big and he is mobile. Winovich for the Patriots, unblocked, jumps in the air, looks down the field, across the field. Oh, that's a no-no, Bill. Now it's a yes. Stephon Diggs redirects his route, gets wide open. That's the other thing. Josh Allen, he can make all the throws, just like Patrick Mahomes, and the Buffalo Bills offense it's rolling right.
And Josh Allen uses his feet as well. And during the 6-game winning streak, they are the #1 team in the National Football League in scoring, averaging 38 points a game. And JB, the Indianapolis Colts, they're going to have their hands full trying to stop this offense today.
Thanks, Bill and Phil. And folks, Josh Allen, if this guy, the All-Pro, gets his hands on him, that will be the AFC's Defensive Player of the Month, Mr. DeForest Buckner. He's the anchor of this Colts D, and he can wreak havoc. Hey, can you tell Coach has his game face on? Yeah, that's because in just a few short weeks, on February 7th, the NFL season culminates in a celebration of the game. Join us in Tampa to see who takes home the Lombardi Trophy. A historic and momentous day awaits us at Super Bowl 55 right here on CBS.
Tom Brady. He's the GOAT. Touchdown Tampa Bay.
Makes it look so easy still at 43 years old.
Wow, what an answer by Tom Brady of the Bucs.
Never bet against Tom Brady. 43-year-old Tom Brady, the GOAT.
Cowboys, put your hang in there. Great throw by Brady. Touchdown Tampa Bay. Spike 10 ball Tom Brady. Brady, the ageless quarterback.
And no question, the biggest reason many consider Tom Brady the GOAT is his performance in the postseason. Check this out, folks. In addition to his 6 Super Bowl titles, he's the all-time leader in playoff wins, completions, passing yards, and touchdowns. That is the stuff of legends. And for more on Brady and the Bucs, let's welcome back another legend himself. That will be the Hall of Famer, Jim Rome.
Exactly right, JB. So it is officially now go time for the GOAT, TB43. Now, in moving to Tampa, he set it up perfectly. He goes to a team with a plethora of weapons, but while he has shown flashes and put up numbers, he and they are not the juggernaut that everybody expected. And no one expected them to be starting the road back to Tampa on the road against the Washington football team. And don't think that Ron Rivera's crew doesn't have a chance because, as Mike Tyson famously said, everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face. And if there's one thing that Brady does not like, it's getting punched in the face. And that's what the football team does best. Keep Brady clean, and he's still dangerous, but knock him around, and he's a 43-year-old shot fighter. Brady, he's already gotten over on Belichick. Now we'll find out if he can do it to everybody else. And we've got an epic showdown tomorrow in Tennessee. The Titans shocked the Ravens in the playoffs last year, and they beat them once again in the regular season this year. It looks like they've got Baltimore's number. After all, they have Derrick Henry, and that monster has the entire world's number. He gouged the Ravens in both games, and there's no reason to believe that he won't do it again. Now, if only their defense could get off the field, and it can't. Ever, for any reason. You can run it on the Titans. You can throw it on them, and the Ravens plan on doing both. Lamar Jackson is back to the peak of his powers. He's desperate to get that first playoff win, and the Titans simply are not beating the Ravens 3 times in a row. That's just not happening. And for years, I've come on this show, and I proudly rep the Cleveland Browns, and, well, I don't want to take all the credit, but we are back in the postseason. And then the gut punch. Head coach and play caller Kevin Stefanski swabs positive for COVID. He's going to miss tomorrow's game against Pittsburgh, as will star guard Joel Bitonio. You couple that with Pittsburgh mauling the Browns earlier this season and nearly beating them last week with their scrubs. And, well, C-Town, I can't lie. I am rattled. I mean, if Mason Rudolph can do what he did to our defense last week, what is a rested Ben Roethlisberger going to do tomorrow? Going without a head coach, a key offensive lineman, and 17 straight losses in Pittsburgh is simply too much. It's been a great season. We made history, but I'm bailing. Yeah, right. I am never, ever leaving the Browns. Cleveland is going to find a way to shock the world and upset the Steelers Sunday night, JB.
Hey, and your guy, Nate Burleson, he's been on that Browns bandwagon as well. Thanks, as usual, Jim, for your outstanding perspective. Coach, you know, are the Browns at a severe disadvantage without Kevin Stefanski?
Yeah, because he is a signal caller, JB, and Alex Van Pelt will be doing that for the first time. And make no mistake, that's not something to be taken lightly because he's never been there before, and the communication between Baker Mayfield and him will be critical. And again, the COVID-19 hit the Cleveland Browns earlier this week. They're getting a lot of their guys back except for their guard. They only hit the practice field on Friday. And for the Pittsburgh Steelers, they're rested. They got guys back. They're getting healthy. Ben Roethlisberger 13-0 against the Browns at home. All these things say, yeah, you should win, but it's a divisional game and anything can happen. Last time they played in Pittsburgh, I was there in 2002, and that was a barn burner.
As soon as Bill said Pittsburgh Steelers, you notice he started smiling. Yeah, unbelievable. It never goes away. But, you know, the Tampa Bay game against the Washington football team, what I look at, this is hard to say, but Tom Brady is throwing the football accurately, with power, distance, whatever you need. I've never seen him throw the football harder. He's been so accurate, but he's got a good offensive line, and we know about this Washington pass rush. That's all we heard. Well, Tampa's got a good offensive line, and the other thing they do for Tom Brady to throw the football down the field, that gives him time to get it down there and do it. And for Washington, if it's Taylor Heineke, man, you're going to have to do it passing the football because it's very hard to run the football against Tampa.
You know, the interesting thing when we get ready for the Rams at Seattle, last week I saw the Rams up close and personal. This defense is the real deal, guys. Aaron Donald is all over the defensive line, creating all sorts of havoc for the opposing offensive line. They also get Cooper Kupp back today, and they also get Michael Brockers back today. And by the way, Russell Wilson versus the Rams, the last 3 games, 1 TD and 105 pass attempts, and he's been sacked 16 times, so it's not going to be easy for him. Well, there is Jonathan Taylor, a second rounder out of Wisconsin. He joins Colts Hall of Famers Edgerrin James and Marshall Faulk as a Colts rookie to run for over 1,000 yards and score more than 10 touchdowns.
The NFL Today is sponsored by Domino's. Taking safety seriously. Order online. State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. And by Ram Trucks. Motor Trend's Truck of the Year for the 3rd year in a row.
The Indianapolis Colts surprised fans from 4 neighborhoods across central Indiana with their playoff caravans featuring the mascot, cheerleaders, a traveling museum, and giveaways along with prizes. And, you know, it's been a great but bittersweet year for the Buffalo faithful. While the team is the best it's been in years, the fans haven't had the opportunity to witness it in person. But that all changes today as Bills Mafia returns to the stadium, although in limited numbers. And for one particular fan, it's a day he's been waiting for nearly a quarter century.
I'm Ken Johnson, a lifelong Bills fan, better known as Pinto Ron. Before this season, I'd been to 423 consecutive Bills games, so you may have seen me around before.
Pinto Ron, one of Buffalo's most famous tailgaters.
But this season was obviously different.
No fans in the stands.
An NFL season unlike any other.
I made it out to the 3 road games that did allow fans, but I watched the rest of the games here. What I saw was a team with heart, a team that fights, a team that makes Bills Mafia proud. And now the Bills are back in the postseason and will be back too. It's been 24 years since our last playoff game in Buffalo, and like so many of the others, it did not end well.
He missed it to the right.
There are no flags on the field!
But this is going to be our year. Well, I got to get going. I've left every night before the game for 30 years. Whoops, almost forgot. I can't wait to be back. See you at the game. Let's go, Buffalo!
Hey, boom! 2 years ago, who amongst us became if you would, an honorary guy?
Here we go.
Talk to him, Phil.
It's a lot of weight and anger coming out of there.
Can I tell you, honestly, driving to the Buffalo Bills Stadium is unique because you drive through a neighborhood. It's a neighborhood where they're out there on their lawns, they're in their driveways, and they're giving you the welcome that you would imagine as you're coming down there. They're throwing stuff at your buses. The best fans in the world, bar none. Well, Pittsburgh's pretty good.
One, we're going to fine you for misconduct, and the dress code today, too. You broke it.
Okay.
So that's it. The Bill fans, you know, Bill, Boomer, we played there. They're loud when you go in there. And I'll just say this. They have a very interesting vocabulary when it comes to talking to you. But the other thing is, when I do games up there, and we'd be in their complex on a Friday, and you come out, and outside, the RVs and all the fans are already parked there getting ready for the game.
Interesting language, huh?
Yeah,
okay. Hey, folks, and to quiet Bills Mafia, Indy may well need a great day from the Rivers-led offense. As a matter of fact, the veteran signal caller leads a multifaceted group who will need all the help they can give to get that W.
The Colts making it look easy.
Beautiful throw. Philip Rivers. Philip Rivers put it right on the money. And the burst from Taylor. He's going to break away.
What a run.
Zach Pascal. Yes, sir. T.Y. Hilton. Touchdown. INDY.
Led by Jonathan Taylor and Philip Rivers, the Colts offense helped propel Indy back to the playoffs this season. That after a one-year hiatus, and our coach had a chance to catch up with the veteran QB this week.
Yeah, JB, I've been a big fan of Philip Rivers since he was at my college, my alma mater, NC State. And then again when he played for my former head coach, the great Marty Schottenheimer, as a member of the Chargers. So this week it was a real pleasure to talk to Philip as he prepares for what might be his final chance at a Lombardi Trophy.
There he is.
Hey, Coach.
Philip, how you doing?
Doing well, thanks. How are you?
You know, I go back to that 2004 draft. You know, there's Philip, there's Eli, and there's Ben. And I'm thinking, okay, I remember talking to you in the combine. And we had our talk. And when you walked out of that room from the combine, did you think you were going to be a Steeler?
I did. I thought when I woke up that Saturday morning, I was going to be a Steeler, actually.
Chargers and the New York Giants have exchanged their draft picks. Eli Manning and Philip Rivers.
You beat me in your first year you started. You probably remember the game. It was in San Diego. Kudos, you're one up on me.
It was like my third or fourth game, I think.
Yeah, you had just started.
We had a couple big plays, but other than that, yeah, it was a heck of a game.
And I remember walking away, I kept saying, now I know why I was thinking about that guy in the draft in the first round. Okay, total oversight, my bad.
Shoot, y'all did just fine.
Don't dance with him, run him over. Hey, Greg, you can only play with 11, Greg.
The dialogue that you tend to have with the opponents during the course of a game.
Shut up. Nobody's scared of you. Look at him.
Where did that start?
Touchdown, baby. Boom.
I just played the game like you play it with your buddies, with your brothers in the backyard. And it just kind of never went away. Although I will say, in the last, each year as I've gotten older, I'm almost 40. I don't spend near as much time with the banter. Maybe there's not as many of these guys that I know, all these young guys. So maybe that's part of it. But I'm playing a backyard game. It just so happens to be on the biggest stage at the highest level.
You weren't even close to making that play. You got a hand on it. You weren't even close.
So you find yourself here in year 17. People keep asking you, is this your last year? Do you want to play another year? Is it kind of seeing how the rest of this year plays out?
Certainly that, I'm sure, will be a factor. But I think more so just letting the dust settle. I do feel right now like I'm still going to have that fire and desire to play again next year. I've really enjoyed the heck out of it this year, being around these guys, this team, this environment.
Heck yeah!
And, finding ourselves with a chance in January is all you can ask for.
When you walk away from this game, whether it's this year, whether it's next year, whenever it may be, what would you want people to say about Philip Rivers?
It's not the touchdowns. It's not the X's and O's and the scheming. I do love all that stuff. But I think I'd want him to say he's a great teammate. I'd want him to say he's a tough son of a gun. I would hope they would say the guy loves to compete, all the time.
So life after football, is it coaching? Are you getting ready to jump right into the high school coaching thing like your dad did? And is that your next stop?
Yeah, that's it. Already ready to go down there at St. Michael High School in Fairhope, Alabama. So I got a 6th grade boy that hopefully is going to be able to play a little quarterback. We've got to get going.
Oh, I love it. Hey, I'll give you some advice. Enjoy it now. You haven't lost a game.
The's no question. I've already been told by many people that know me well, like they can't wait to see me on the sidelines. It's going to drive me crazy not being able to do anything about it in some of those Friday nights.
Philip, patience with your guys. Patience. Give them a little bit of direction. Hold them accountable, but hug them as well. You know what that's like. And tell them not to trash talk, the banter. That shouldn't start too early. I go back to that draft and Philip Rivers and Ben Roethlisberger and Eli Manning, talking to them all at the Combine. It was a blessing to have Ben for the 3 years I had him, but all 3 of those guys, you could tell were going to be special players, and it turned out to be the case.
I covered him many times as an announcer doing games. He'd come into every meeting, always full of energy. You don't feel this game's going to be so good. I just can't wait to do it.
You've been there before.
You've been there. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, I know what you're talking about, Philip, but his energy is unbelievable. He likes to take chances throwing the football, accurate down the field, and not afraid to throw it down.
The amazing thing is last year we were standing here and we were talking about where Philip Rivers was going to be playing next year or this year. And certainly we all said the Indianapolis Colts because he was going to be reunited with his offense coordinator in San Diego at the time, right, Frank Reich. And it has worked out absolutely perfect. I just worry about today's second half. Now, why? Because of this guy, Josh Allen. They finally found the replacement after all these years for the great Jim Kelly. And all he has done is set single-season records for touchdown passes.
Oh, man, do I see Pinto, Ron? The Bills Mafia is alive and well today.
Get that guy on your TV.
Pinto.
Get that guy on your TV.
The NFL Today on CBS is presented by Ram Trucks, Motor Trend's Truck of the Year for the 3rd year in a row.
Time now to deliver our picks with Game Day Delivery presented by Amazon. Feel
I'm taking the Buffalo Bills 30-24 over the Colts.
Sean McDermott lost his first 2 playoff games like I did, and I won mine in my 3rd year. I think that's the same path that Sean McDermott's going to do. I think they win today. I'm not giving you a score, but Buffalo Bill win.
Yeah, I think it's a high-scoring game. I think it will be close, meaning that the Colts will keep it close. The whole second half thing with Phillip Rivers does bother me. I'm just thinking that Josh Allen has got too much energy and too much going for him, so I'll take the Bills 31-27.
All right, so we are getting ready. Now, Nate, what did Nate do?
Yeah, my man Nate just texted me. He's picking the Bills as well.
And boy, that's a clean sweep. Oh, boy.
That's right. Oh, boy. And that actually bodes well for Indianapolis, because anytime we all pick the same team, it usually goes the other way.
Well, now look at Indianapolis. When they come out in this game today, what you do, don't come out and feel your way around. Be aggressive on the offensive side, but really on the defensive side, don't be afraid to try to pressure Phillip Rivers with Phillip Rivers.
Getting an early lead. Getting an early lead is important for the Indianapolis Colts. You don't want to have Phillip Rivers have to come from behind against this team. If they get an early lead, the running game becomes a factor the whole day, and that bodes well for the Colts.
Whether a non-factor.
Non-factor at all. Both quarterbacks will be able to throw the ball really well. If the Colts are going to win, if you remember 2 years ago during the regular season, Andrew Luck led the Colts to a victory over the Kansas City Chiefs in Arrowhead. It's got to be that type of game for Frank Reich and his Indianapolis Colts today in order to win the Buffalo Bills.
We'll see you back here at halftime, and in tribute to Nate, we say coming up next.